I was reading on your website about your heart for for human trafficking, and the fact that you guys go in like John boats, and you guys go down by the river, and you guys look for kids that are maybe not being well taken care of, and then you find all these stories of kids that are being involved in this sexual slavery. And you're not just focused on America and the border, but you're focused all over. You just got back from Cancun, correct?
I did, yeah.
And you guys were rescuing a couple girls out there.
Yep, we rescued a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old girl while we were there, and which was amazing because 5 cartel guys got busted. There was a local official that got busted. It made national attention. It shook a lot of things up, and then we opened up a rescue center for housing, but it has to be high security because the whole trafficking thing. And the local prosecutor turned over another child to us on the following Monday, a 16-year-old girl that had been abducted when she was 10. So she spent her first night in freedom last Tuesday, with us. And so, man, we get them. And then not only do we rescue them, but we also raise them. So we have over 4,000 kids under our care right this second.
4,000?
Yeah, all over the world.
That's more than a school.
Yep.
That's incredible.
It is incredible. I say it's incredible not to say I'm incredible, because I obviously can't do any of that. It takes such a huge team of people. And I'm just, I've got a seat on the bus just like everybody else does, and I'm amazed at what all our teams do. I'm just floored.
Wow. So what was your role in making sure that those teams got formed?
Oh, well, yeah, I did. I did have some role in that. Just when it first started, it was just me and Leanna, me and my beautiful bride. We're about to have our 35th anniversary. Shout out to Leanna.
Go. What date is that? 35th anniversary? Let's see if you got it like
that. She's watching right now. So, man, we've been doing this, for 35, the entire time that we've been married, and we would just come across kids that just needed to be rescued. And at first, it really didn't have anything to do with trafficking. It just had to do with they were orphans and they lived on the ground. And we'd ask them, like we'd be in Uganda and say, where do you live at? And they'd say, on the ground. And we'd say, show me. And they'd show me where they lived at. And then we'd say, okay, well, let's get them in a boarding school. Yeah. And let's do this, let's do that. And then when we didn't like the schools, if we didn't like the culture of the school, if we thought that they treated them like orphans and they didn't treat them like family, then we decided we have to buy our own land in Uganda and we got to build our own schools.
That's right.
And then it just kind of, so in doing that, we already had teams of people that we were working with to help us do the things that we were already doing over there. And then we got with them and said, we're thinking about doing this. And if we did this, where would we do it at? And they were like, we know. And so we'd say, okay, well then let's form a team here of indigenous people that are doing the work of King Jesus, people that we'd already worked with, people that we knew worked and that they were willing to treat kids the way that we treat kids. And then our teams built all over the planet Earth like that. And then, of course, we had to build the teams on our end. So for a long time, for decades, we had huge teams all over the world. And then our church was a little bitty tiny thing. And, we were a church of less than 100 people for the first 16 years. And we had the food bank. And so a lot of our people in our church were outreach recipients. And so they really were not like leaders. They weren't people that was interested in reaching people all over the world. In fact, we went through huge problems with our church and huge problems with leadership about our emphasis for kids all over the world. And it was hard to get people to catch that vision because we were small town Johnson County.
Yeah.
And it was hard for people to get it and to understand that a small group of people could do a work in 57 nations throughout the planet.
57.
And I'm like, yeah, we can. No,
Let's
have
go.
you ever done that? I'm like, no.
But I want to.
But how are we going to do it? I don't know. Let's just get out there and do it, and get involved with the mess of it. And we did. And so, so now we have teams of people in Nepal. We have teams of people in India, in Uganda, in Kenya, in Rwanda, in Tanzania. On this side of the world, we have teams in, of course, here in the United States, all over Mexico, in Guatemala. We have a birthing center and a bunch of schools in Belize. We have food banks and a whole bunch of rescue centers. We have 21 rescue centers. There's 21 rescue centers throughout the world with teams of people that actually rescue. And then we have all the homes that actually raise the kids once we do rescue them. And then we have a big work in Nicaragua. We have a food bank that feeds 100,000 people a month.
Oh my goodness.
A month. Yeah, it's
Praise
crazy.
the Lord.
I know.
100,000.
And again, I'm saying this because I'm living proof that you don't have to be smart, and you don't have to have tons of money. You don't have to be the sharpest knife in the drawer to be able to see God do amazing things. The Lord's strength is made perfect in our weakness.
That's right.
And so, like, I'm the weakest guy that's in this room, and the weakest guy that, of everybody that's watching. I'm the least of all of that. Yet I can point and say, look at my Jesus. And look at what he's doing. It's ridiculous. And then past Nicaragua, we have a huge work in the Amazon jungle, and we do work in Leticia, Colombia. We've been there for over 20 years. We have a school, amazing school, huge rescue center there. And then on the Brazilian side, and then across the river is, what is across the river there? What is that country? I'm in it all the time. I was just in it. Anyway, I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm impressed you can remember Peru. I'm impressed you can remember all those everywhere you're at. That's incredible. I mean, that's even the fact that you had that all in the bank, knowing that your teams are all involved. You can remember all that. That's wild. But when you say rescue, what does that look like? What does that entail? Because I was reading on your website, I love that you wrote this. It was so powerful. It was a little nugget that I was just holding on to deep. I was telling you before the show, where you were essentially saying that because you not only rescue the children and get them out of it, but you restore them and you renew them and you give them the gospel and you've given them a better life and a family and a future. And you wrote on there, we would rather, save thousands of souls and have millions in the bank, and it kind of sounds like the pushback that you were receiving was because of the money that was required to do this. Is that true?
Yeah, a big part of so in America, we look at a church, how successful is it according to the numbers that they have in the church and how much money they have in the bank. And that's a Western view of Christianity and the success of a church. And I'm not against having numbers, and I'm not against having money in the bank. What I'm against is saving up money when we have the opportunity to actually rescue somebody.
Right.
And so... we've seen we have some amazing givers now, and we have some people that partner with us all over the planet Earth. And I'm so grateful for that. Since our television ministry has taken off and since, I've been in front of a lot of cameras, there've been a lot of people that partner with us, but I'm not supposed to be a holy bank.
Right.
To me, money is ministry. If money comes to me, I know what to do with it.
That's beautiful. You know how to steward it and send it out. And
I'm not going to do it in a way that causes people to come to my church. I'm not doing this to get people to come to my church. I'm doing this because we are the church.
That's right. The church has left the building.
And I really don't care who comes to our church and who doesn't. I don't have an agenda for that. I'm going to feed people there. And if people like my Holy Ghost buffet, then our church is right for you. And if they don't, then it's not. And there it is. But know this, we're going to be the church. And we're going to reach people, and we're going to make a lasting impact, and we're going to be fruitful. And a lot of times the only win is that we showed up.
Right.
There's times, man, that you go to rescue somebody, or you go to feed somebody, or you go to do this, you go to do that. And it kind of was just nothing but a big old giant mess. It doesn't matter. We showed up.
That's right.
That's
obedience.
A win. Yeah. And then from there, you begin to define different wins according to lasting impact, according to the fruit of the Holy Spirit, according to either the seeds that were planted or the harvest or the fruit that was harvested. And so then you can determine as a team, what is a win. For us, when it comes to rescuing kids, the win is not just that we rescued them, but that they get saved in every way a person can be saved. And then also that they are raised in such a way to where they understand that they have a name, they have a birthday, which we give them all new birthdays, all of them. Most of them don't
even know their
birthday. And so we give them all. But the first thing that we do is we always have a birthday party for them, and
that's so special.
Have everybody celebrate them. All the girls, man, every single one of them, we go and buy a princess dress for them, and then they do the twirl. And we all clap and we make a big deal of it. We have a day where we do nothing but just celebrate their life. And many times, less than a week ago, they were a slave. Yeah. And now here they are, and this is what's going on. This is Jesus. and he knew you and he loved you so much, man. He sent us from the other side of the planet Earth to come over here and to get you. That's how much he loves you. And then to set them up into a forever home. So we build homes. The standard that we have is this: I will not put a child in a home I would not put my grandchildren in. I have 7 biological grandchildren. And it's like, if I wouldn't put my grandkid in it, I wouldn't put an orphan kid in it. Why would I do that? So we set up forever homes, and our forever homes typically have 8 kids in it. And they have, we go and we find widow women, we find single mamas, we find young couples according to whatever their culture is and whatever part of the world it is. These are people that we have discipled. These are people who have worked with us, and they qualify to have a forever home. And so then what happens is, once they qualify, they go in, we give them 8 kids, and they live in the nicest house that you can imagine. I mean, it's as nice as my house, man. It's ridiculous.
That's beautiful.
And then when those kids graduate out of high school, that's still their home.
Yeah.
You know, that's still, when they graduate out of high school and they go to college, they come back, when they get married, they can bring their grandkids to their forever home.
Right.
And so,
wow.
That's our win. And
that's
now,
so special.
Man, we're in our 2nd generation now. And, you know, there's one kid in Uganda that when he was a little boy, he couldn't even read. He was so traumatized and so messed up. And now he's a heart surgeon.
Oh, my goodness.
Brother is a heart surgeon.
My dude.
I know.
That's amazing.
And we have doctors and lawyers and rescuers themselves. And
wow. Yeah, so they get involved. I was going to ask you, do they get involved into the ministry?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They do,
wow,
man.
It multiplies, right?
Yep, it does multiply.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for supporting our YouTube channel. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe and smash that like button. If you would like to see another short clip from this episode, you can do so here. Or if you want to see the full conversation, you can do so here. And make sure you subscribe on Patreon if you'd like to partner with us. You can do that, the link in the description of this video. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.